Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with ChillPanic. I'm speaking softly again because my brother is back from the beach and stays in a room about 20 feet from me, and he is sleeping. Today we're going to be looking at emphasis inside of FL Studio 2025 because I don't understand how it works. And I'm going to attempt to understand how it works so that I can make a tutorial on it and capitalize on viewership. To all the ladies out there, all the women that watch this channel, which isn't much according to my data, I recently heard on TikTok that eating steak on the first day of your period may help with the side effects of bleeding from your hoo-ha. So, I hope that helps. And now, as I often do, I'm going to get the chat into the fucking OBS. And so that may take a second. Also, I'd like to apologize for being so late. Your boy went to bed late as hell last night. So, your boy's sleepy as hell this morning. And it took a little extra time to get the gears turning. Besides that, I also had the shits. So, I just continued shitting for a while. So, this is emphasis. And I'm just gonna put it on detached so it doesn't go away. And matter of fact, let me open up YouTube on my phone to make sure that it doesn't, that you can see it. Gotta make sure you can see it. Okay, looks like we might have to do a bit of adjusting here. No problem. We could just make it a little bit smaller. Get it a little more in the center. And, ooh, I think we're cooking with gas, folks. I think we're cooking with gas. Gotta put this over that. Oh, interesting. It looks rather high up. So I guess we should put it here. Or I should do this, so that it's a bit lower. Maybe adjust that to be the middle. So we can get it right there, put it right there on the money. That looks on the money to me. Still a little bit too big though. I want to make sure you can see all of the controls. So we're just going to resize this a little bit more. There we go, that's looking nice. We're going to add a couple bushes, and then I'm going to check this. What's good, Norlax OP? Welcome aboard the stream. Speak Spanish. Hablo más o menos. Hablo más o menos español. Tuve un amigo mexicano en mi escuela. Pues aprendí más español que mis amigos gringos, pero I never learned more past that. My cousin said you're handsome. Tell your cousin to stop looking at me. No, I'm just kidding. Tell him or her that I said thanks. Test, what's good, Vulcan? But estoy aprendiendo más español usando Duolingo porque tengo que hablar español a mi trabajo y quiero aprender más. So this is emphasis inside of FL Studio, and this is a song I made with Suno. My cousin likes your glasses. I feel like the cousin thing is about to become a thing all of a sudden. So this is a song I made with AI about poop.
my God, news today. Johnny, have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's
So yeah, it's just a song about poop and about Johnny eating an apple. So I'm going to do what I often do when I'm trying to learn a new plugin, and I'm going to go through the presets. We'll just go to, well, not classical, because I don't make classical, but we're going to go to Clean Upward Limiter Extreme, and thankfully I've used OTT in the past, so I think I understand that upward limiter probably means the same as upward compression, because OTT is basically a combination of downwards compression and upwards compression. My cousin rolling up, we about to blast off. Hell yeah, shout out to Cuz. So basically, downwards compression is kind of, how do I explain this? Downwards and upwards compression are two sides of the same coin, whereas with downwards compression, which is most compression, as what, like if somebody says compression to you, that's probably what they're talking about, is where you set a threshold at a certain volume so that the audio will never go above that certain threshold, and you can squash it together by making the louder parts quieter to match the quieter parts, and then you take that all up together with the makeup gain. As far as I understand, upwards compression is doing sort of the opposite, where you're taking a threshold at a certain quiet level and bringing that up to match the loudest parts, and then using the makeup gain to turn it all up. That's how I understand it. You're my hero, ChillPanic. I appreciate that. I can't say your name, but thank you. Packing a bowl now. Will I be damned. So yeah, I'm just gonna see if this has a bypass button. And it doesn't look like it does, which is kind of crazy. So, first of all, FL Studio, just put a damn bypass button. It's not that hard. But yeah, we're gonna see what this did to our sound, and then we're gonna A/B it.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's
And I'm gonna loop a section of it.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay.
Doesn't sound like there's much of a difference.
Have you seen the news today?
So I'm gonna turn up the input gain and really hear what this thing be doing.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to our boy Gopher. Use purity, bro. What's purity? That was good, David. I made a few ideas for different things for you to try making. Oh, okay. Hell yeah, I'm down. This stream is definitely going to be shorter than yesterday's stream, though, just to give you a heads up, because I got some editing to do from yesterday, because I streamed for like 7 hours. But yeah, we're going to talk to Gopher, and I'm going to tell it to explain to me the parameters / controls of the emphasis limiter plugin. in a simple to understand way. Give me real world mixing, mastering, use case examples for each knob. That way, not only is it going to tell us what it does, it's also going to tell us why it can be helpful and how we would use it. Your boy's so sleepy. Alright, go for going off. It's giving us all the sauce. Bro, send me some free nugs, please. Sorry, Terra Lavda Miramupe. I do not indulge in the use of the tree. Light Wolf music. I'm not depressed at all. I wouldn't consider myself a very happy person, but I'm a very content person. Alright, so we already know what input gain does. Everybody knows that, right? That's the volume of the signal before it goes into the limiter. That's what that is. Emphasis amount, what it does, controls how much limiting and dynamic shaping is applied. Lower values keep more of the original dynamics. Higher values make the sound louder and more compressed. See, hey, Algo Amigo, if you want to leave, that's okay. I have to use Gopher to understand what each control does, so I can figure out how to use it. But I'm going to use this information to make a tutorial, so if you want to leave and just keep an eye out for the tutorial, you go ahead, brother. I don't know how to respond to that, Leanna. Appreciate that Light Wolf music. Okay, so see, FL Studio is really not giving me very information about emphasis. All it says is controlled is how much limiting and dynamic shaping is applied. Well, you know what else controls how much limiting is applied? The input gain. Because if you turn the input gain up more, then the limiter is going to have to work harder. And dynamic shaping, that's not giving me information. So I'm going to tell it. I'm going to say you didn't explain emphasis very well. What do you mean by dynamic shaping? Does it have a set attack and release? Wouldn't input gain also determine how much limiting and dynamic shaping is applied? How do they differ? We're getting into the nitty gritty. Alright, Algo Amigo, you take her easy. Hey bro, what's good? So Mila Das, you're an artist from India? Well, I be damn. Okay, hell yeah, we're getting all the sauce right here. I know this is a lot. Are those Kush glasses? That's what they're called now. Okay, what is dynamic shaping and emphasis? Refers to how the plugin changes or shapes the dynamics of your audio, meaning how it controls the difference between the loud and quiet parts. Emphasis does this through a combination of limiting, controlling peaks, and wave shaping, altering the waveform to increase loudness or character. At lower settings, emphasis gently tames peaks and subtly shapes the loudest parts, preserving most of the original dynamics. Okay, so I guess that's kind of like the knee of a compressor. I'm 16 years old and not released a single song. Well, at least you know you want to be an artist as early as 16. I didn't know until I was like 20. At higher settings, emphasis applies more compression limiting and wave shaping, making the audio louder and more uniform, but with more obvious dynamic changes. Oh, and it depends on the different modes. Okay. We're getting some information here. We're making progress. So instead of having an attack and release, we use the emphasis knob, or the envelope knob, which controls both attack and release characteristics together. Ox said, a second time seeing those sick ass glasses. Thank you, gang. So higher values of an envelope create a more pronounced S-shaped curve for both attack and release, emphasizing a smaller portion of the transient's quick, sharp sounds. Okay, that makes sense. So I guess envelope at higher volume, you can think of that as the attack in a transient shaper. The higher the envelope, the shorter the attack and longer the release, I would imagine. And then at lower values, it's going to give you a longer attack and a shorter release. So I don't need to read that about input gain. So you can think of emphasis as a depth or intensity control. That makes sense. Whereas just putting it into the limiter is how much you're pushing it into the limiter. Emphasis is how much you want the limiter's effects to be applied. Yes, I have eaten a snail. It was delicious. Okay, so we'll think of emphasis as a depth or intensity knob. So you might want to use a lower value for rock music that doesn't need to be compressed as hard, and for dubstep you would use it very high. Hardness, what it does, adjust how hard, that's hardness right there. Adjust how hard or soft the limiting is, like the knee on a compressor. 0 is very clean and transparent. 9 is hard clipping. So same type of deal, you want to have that up for more aggressive styles of mastering, and you want to have it lower for subtle mastering. We already went over the envelope. Okay, so we've got 4 different emphasis modes. Transient focuses on enhancing attack, good for drums. Steady applies saturation to all loud parts, good for overall loudness. Versatile balances loudness and transparency, good for most music. Loud maximizes loudness, Makes sense. Output ceiling, that's just, the ceiling of the output. True peak enables true peak limiting, which catches inter-sample peaks that might cause distortion after conversion. Okay, so it's saying to pretty much always enable that. What's good, Jonah? I'm neither high nor sleepy. My brother is asleep 20 feet that way in his room because our rooms are close to each other, and out of respect for him, I'm speaking softly. Oversampling, what it does, processes the audio at a higher sample rate for cleaner limiting. So why wouldn't it just be the best quality by default? But that's fine. Here's our true peak. Oh, they do have a bypass button. Alright, we've got linking. What's that? Controls how much the left and right channels are processed together. 0% equals independent, 100% equals linked. So if you have a bunch of panning in your mix, it's probably best to use lower linking. And if you want it to be more stable, you turn it up. That makes sense. Alright, then we've got mid-side routing. What's good, Smack Jams? Yes, I am gay. Everybody who uses FL 2025 actually is gay. They're trying to do a study to figure out why that is, and they haven't come to any conclusive results yet, but as soon as I know something, I will let you know. Rub the top of head for good luck. I've heard that many times in my life. Aaron Selegy, hey Panic, hey Chill. Alright, so mid-side, it's basically just mid-side EQ, but instead of EQ, it's dynamics. Then we've got level matching, and that's a common thing in most limiters. Matches the loudness of processed and unprocessed signals for fair comparison. So that way you only hear what the limiter is doing to the sound, and you're not hearing the boosted up volume of it, because that's gonna confuse your ears. Alex Jones, they're putting gay in the FL studio. Bro, I'm telling you, everybody thinks this is a conspiracy, but it's true. They're turning the freaking FL studio producers gay. Delta lets you hear only what's being changed by the limiter. Uses to check if you're introducing artifacts or distortion. Delta is something I don't use often for any plugin, but I feel like I should. The only thing I've really used it for is in Soothe. I really like to use it in Soothe. But yeah. James Freed. No one takes you seriously. Well, that's good. Bypass. We all know what bypass does. Visual meters. What they do is show gain reduction, output levels, and loudness. LUFS. Where's our visual meters?
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's poor. Oh, have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple.
That's actually kind of crazy that it's creating that much distortion, because I don't hear it.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's poor. Oh, have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's poor. Oh, have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it.
Okay. And it said visual meters, they have, says they have luffs, but I don't see nothing about no luffs.
Have you seen the news today?
Oh, okay. So you can switch between integrated short-term and momentary luffs. I don't understand luffs, and I never do. I never want to. Why is it Fruity Loops? You got a good point, Mr. Smack Jams. A very good point indeed. Alright, so we can bring this back to the center. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? So, I'm at the door. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? What's good, David? Welcome back. Jesse made another one. Ah, shit. What's your goal? You want more loudness? Yeah, David, go ahead and give me some ideas. I'm down to hear them. My goal right now is just understanding this limiter. But yes, that would be, that would be the goal. That would be the reason I would use a limiter. I can't see myself using this much, really, because I have Ozone, and Ozone is just kind of like a better version of this. I could see this coming in handy on like individual tracks though. But yeah, so let's talk about this thing. I think I might just go ahead and record a tutorial for it, I guess. Welcome to the first ever FL Studio ASMR. This is Emphasis by ImageLine FL Studio. What? Welcome to the first ever ASMR FL Studio tutorial. This is Emphasis, one of the new plugins inside of FL Studio 2025. We're going to be looking at what all of these controls do and how you can use them to make your songs louder. So, this is a song I have generated inside of Suno AI about poop.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet.
So, at the very left, we have input gain. This is the same as any other limiter. That's just going to control how hard your song is being fed into the limiter. At what volume is that before it goes into the limiter. So we can hear what that sounds like if you like.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet.
So that's something you must be careful with. And here, under the enhancement tab, we have a few different modes: versatile, loud, transient, steady. Versatile is just for overall, just probably the best thing to use for most music because it's versatile. It can do a bunch of different things. But sometimes it would be beneficial to use one of these other modes because if you have a dubstep track, you probably just want that shit to be very loud. And transient would be great for something like drums where you're trying to do more of a transient shaping thing. And steady is if you want the most And steady. And steady is just for overall loudness if you're not really trying to have it work too hard and you just want it to... Actually, I don't remember. I forgot what steady does. Do. Okay, there we go. So, and steady mode applies saturation to all of the loudest parts across the whole thingy. So it's good for overall loudness. Now we have this emphasis knob. Basically, you can just think of this as a depth or intensity knob. The higher it is, the harder the limiter is going to be working. And I thought to myself, well, input gain also controls how hard the limiter is going to be working. And yes, that's true. But what it really means is the input is going to determine how hard it's actually going into the limiter, while emphasis is going to determine how hard it's limiting, as like the curve, the shape of the wave that it's doing. So you could think of this... Oh, well, no, that's actually what envelope does. I'm wrong. Or no, that's not what envelope does. That's what hardness does. My bad. Okay, I'm going to start over with that one. So, the emphasis knob is pretty much going to just control the depth and intensity of the limiter. The input controls how hard it's actually going into the limiter. But the emphasis knob is just going to control how much of the... how intensely the limiter is working to doing the limiting. Next we have envelope. Think of this as an attack and release knob put together. And I don't remember exactly what low and higher values do. Okay, so envelope all the way set at 1 is going to basically be a short attack and short release, and it's going to bring out the transients more. The higher you go up, it's basically a longer attack and longer release. So for something like drums, you'd want to keep this to the bottom, but if you want overall loudness, it's probably best to give it higher volumes. Let's listen. Oh, future me, edit this in right after I talk about emphasis. Here's emphasis all the way at 0, and we'll just take it up so you can hear what's happening.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay.
Well, let's turn up the input gain.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it...
So I'm just going to take the emphasis from 0 to 100 real quick so you can see what it's doing to the sound.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead it came up out the toilet, and at that poor boy, oh my God, it's poor.
So you can't hear too much of a difference, but yeah, that's the intensity knob. Okay, future me for editing. We're back on the envelope, and I just described what the envelope does. Alright, so let's listen to what the envelope does. Let's start it at 1, where it'll have a short attack and short release.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead it came up out the toilet, And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's full. Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that poor boy, oh my God, it's full.
And maybe I have untrained ears, but I can't really hear much of a difference there. Now, this hardness knob is basically like the knee of a compressor. Let me just bring in Fruity Limiter so you can see what I mean. So this is the Fruity Limiter. If we change this to compression mode, this is the knee of a compressor, which is it's hard to explain. It's gonna basically be like how hard is cutting off peaks. So if you have like a soft knee, it's gonna let the peaks through a little more and it's gonna compress them a little softer. But if you have a very straight knee, it's going to cut them off quickly. So this hardness knob is basically just the knee, but the manual says that it also does wave shaping. So you can really think of this as a knob between soft clipping to hard clipping.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay. Instead, it came up out the toilet. And at that point.
Alright, next up we have routing. We've got left, right, and mid side. So you can change which mode that is. And then you have a linking knob. So the linking, yeah, he's saying, oh my God, it's poop. Yeah, sorry, I haven't really been looking at the chat much, but I'm just going to finish up the short tutorial and then I shall look at chat. And I gotta look at linking, because I don't know. Okay, controls how much the left and right channels are processed together. For a stable stereo image, use higher linking. For creative stereo effects, use lower linking. So this linking knob is going to control how much the stereo image is processed together versus independently. So if you have this on mid-side mode and you have it all the way 0, the sides and the mid channel are going to be processed completely independently. So that can be good if you have a bunch of creative stereo effects, like things going on in the left ear sometimes, like hard pan left, and things going on in the right ear, or if you use a lot of like Pan-O-Matic or something like that. But if you want a stable stereo image, you would just bring that up. So if you just have a regular old song, nothing crazy going on in the stereo field, just leave that up. But if you want those left to right ear things to be more pronounced, leave that lower. So I would probably leave that lower for myself because I love using panning in my songs a lot. And then we have the output knob, which is just the output gain, which is the highest amount is 0. So interesting.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny.
And I have to look at Gopher again because I don't know what GRMS is. I think that's gain reduction, mid, and side, but I'm not sure. Gain reduction, output levels, and loudness. Oh, output peaks.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny. Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple, but it didn't decay.
So next up, we've got these little visual meters. one cool thing about this limiter is it has LUFS. This one all the way to the right is LUFS, and you can change between integrated, short-term, and momentary. When I'm mastering, I don't even pay attention to LUFS. I just master based on reference tracks. So I don't know what to tell you about LUFS, but if you like LUFS and doing that, you can do that now, which I think is pretty cool. And this is gain reduction, which, as far as I understand, is just how much the sound is being limited and brought down before it's being maximized afterwards. And M and S, I'm assuming, is the levels of the mid and side. And the very last thing we have down here are these little doohickeys in this bitch right here. We've got True Peak, which I fucking forgot. Bro, this is going to be the most edited tutorial I've ever done. Okay, True Peak enables true peak limiting, which catches inter-sample peaks that might cause distortion after conversion. Always enable for final mastering to ensure your track doesn't distort on streaming services. Inter-sample peaks. Okay, I need to understand that better. What are inter-sample peaks? He said he wanted to finish the tutorial. In quotation marks. Yeah. This is going to be edited into a tutorial, yeah. I'm just, I'm kind of learning as I go. I don't know, man. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. My brain ain't working at 100%. Okay, you can stop now. I just want to... God damn it, I didn't want a whole book. Inter-sample peaks are audio signal peaks that occur between the actual digital samples in your audio file. Wow, I'm learning a lot about audio today. Oh, damn. I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool. Okay, when this digital signal is converted back to analog for speaker and headphones, like the actual noise you're hearing, the waveform is reconstructed smoothly. Sometimes this reconstructed analog waveform can overshoot the digital sample values, creating peaks that are higher than any of the individual digital samples. So down here at this section we have True Peak, which is something you probably just always want to have turned on for the final master, because what this does is catches all the inter-sample peaks, which basically occur when your waveform is converted from digital to analog. So when what you see on your computer is actually converted into real sound that you can hear, sometimes, and all that means is that the digital waveforms that you see on FL Studio, when they're converted to analog, like sound that you can actually hear, the waveform is reconstructed to be analog, and that can sometimes cause problems and distortion because it might make those volumes or those peaks louder. So this is true peak limiting to get rid of that and get rid of that distortion. And next we've got oversampling, which a lot of FL Studio plugins have. On the default preset, this was set to 4x, so I guess that means that's a good spot to keep it. I don't know. Depends on your CPU usage and how much you want the oversampling, but basically that's like better quality. If you're thinking of it like an image, it's like oversampling is more pixels, you know, because more pixels give you a clearer image. And we've got a bypass button that just turns the limiter off. And then one pretty cool thing that I like is delta. And this is gonna only show you what the limiter is adding. So if there's any distortion going on, this is a good way to check it. So I'm gonna enable delta and play the track so you can hear that. So I actually think that's a really cool feature. And now level matching. This is important if you want to hear what the limiter is actually doing, because the limiter is going to increase the overall loudness of your track. So when you hear that compared to the original signal, it's just going to sound better to you because it's louder. That's a fallacy with our ears. So level matching keeps the volume at the same. So level matching keeps the real volume the same as the original sound, so that you only hear what the limiter is actually doing to the sound. So we can turn that on and...
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple but it didn't decay. Instead it came up out the toilet.
So, and you can hear whenever... So I'm going to toggle level matching on, and then I'm going to go back and forth between bypass and the signal with limiter on. So this is no limiter.
Have you seen the news today? Johnny ate an apple but it didn't decay. Instead it came up out the toilet. And at that point...
And that can be another good way to see what kind of distortion the limiter is adding. So I hope this was helpful, and if there's anything else you want to learn about FL Studio, let me know in them comments, and I'll probably do that shit. There's a very high likelihood. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna look at the chat now. Bob Ross edition. Yeah, pretty much. Damn, that's a lot of chat. I gotta go up. Let's see. Damn. Yes, Smack Jams. This is from Suno. Sorry, I'm like scrolling up. Okay. If you're gonna spend every minute doing this, then why waste your time being bad at it, bruh? Well, that's not very helpful. Casey Mize Low Pitch drew a picture of a phallus. That's more helpful than the comment before it. Alright, and David had some ideas for shit I could do. I'll say 2 of them now. Save others for future streams. Okay. Hell yeah. Remaking something similar to Ethel Cain. Yeah, bro, you were going off about Ethel Cain yesterday. I'll have to look up Ethel Cain. Or Strangers, and then something in a different time signature. Different time signatures scare me. This is Yappin' Hour James. Fireman McDonald just farted. Hell yeah. Happy for you. Sorry, I accidentally scrolled down to the bottom. Never use the limiter without auto gain, or you get fooled by the increase in loudness. It's an illusion. You actually just reduce punch. Yes, Mr. Beats. That's why we use the level matching. Oh, that's what auto gain is. Level matching. Okay. Cool. I didn't know it was called auto gain. Then James went off about some stuff. So I'll just leave that alone. Chill, you're gay. Let James show us all the ABCs of production, please. Yeah, my bad, James. I am really gay. Knee is how softly. Hold on. Damn it. It keeps scrolling down. Okay. Knee is how softly it transitions between compressor on and off. Let me I don't think that's right. Let me ask Gopher. Is the knee of a compressor controlling how softly it transitions between compressor on and off? Oh, bro, I did not spell anything in that. I'm glad y'all can't see that, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah, it says the knee. Well, I'll have to wait for it to stop generating the damn book. Yes, the knee setting of a compressor directly affects how smooth or soft the transition is between no compression and full compression. Oh, okay. With a soft knee, compression is applied gradually as the input signal approaches and passes the threshold. This creates a gentle, smooth transition between uncompressed and compressed states, making this effect less noticeable and more musical. Okay, well, I sort of explained that good. What's good, Friendlo? Welcome aboard. And yes, I was just playing around with it at the very beginning, and then I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just make a tutorial, I guess. True peak is stupid, just makes everything slightly quieter so that nothing clips. Even if you convert the signal back to analog, don't worry about it. Interesting. Well, Beats Bastoon, your comments will show up in the recorded video, so maybe people will see that and it'll be helpful to them. All right, there we go. Don't worry about your things, because everything's going to be all right, okay? Excuse me while I light my spliff. I guess I'll look up Ethel Cain, because, I mean, you've been asking for that a lot. Bro, that's so fucking beautiful. Oh my god. Bro. She has the voice of a goddamn angel. Jesus. Alright. Yeah, I'm downloading that latest album. Oh, it's only 2 songs. Well. I guess I'll download Preacher's Daughter. Fire recommendation. Look up Richard Cheese. I was listening to Fuck Me Eyes and Nettles. Richard has the voice of an angel. Okay, I'll look up Richard Cheese, but I'm gonna have to turn the input volume down on the mic because of monetization. Alright, down with the sickness. Here we go. Okay, I'm sold just from the oh shit. That's pretty fire. Right, I would definitely be down to do a Riz battle like that. Listen to Gibson Girl from Preacher's Daughter. Okay, yeah, I shall check it out in the future for sure, bruh. I feel like I'm gonna have to do some listening to Ethel Cain. before making a video about it. Like, I have to give it like a good hour of listening to get a better understanding, because right now, to my ears, it basically sounds almost the same as dream pop, and so, I gotta listen to it a little bit more so that I can hear the nuance of it. I need to listen to it in headphones and shit. I fucking love Coke Zero. By the way, I have these mugs. They're $9 on the YouTube shop. I make about $3 for every purchase. And the shipping is like $10, so really you'd be spending like $20-ish, $18 to $20, I think, for one of these mugs, which is kind of crazy for a mug, especially from you paying $20. I get $3. That's crazy. But I made the profit margins super thin because these are like drop shipped, and because I wanted to make them as cheap as possible, but it still, with shipping, ended up being like $20. So no, I never really listened to 21 Pilots, but the songs I have heard, I really fuck with. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, the smallest one is $9. I got the one in the middle. I don't remember. Do you hear that sound? Is it love, baby? Is it love, maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look on the YouTube shop to see what it do. Is it love, baby? Is it love, maybe? Okay, that's weird. So it goes from 11 to 15 to 20. So I got this one. So I got the 15 ounce is the one I got, I guess, which is $11.79. Oh yeah, and I made a patcher plugin called 808 Baker. That shit fire, cuh. That shit real fire. But the 20. Oh shit. Let me just. Okay. I mean, I can look on there real quick on here, because that would take a second on the computer. It would probably be boring. It's not loading, bruh. It's just not loading. There we go. Alright, 20 ounce is $13.79. But it's 20 ounce. That's fucking big, bro. This is 15. This is like huge. Like I didn't know coffee cups could be this big. Yo, bro, do you remember the game? Damn. Yes, I do. And now I lost it. Haha, thanks, man. Thanks. There's always some motherfucker that's gonna remind me about the game, which makes me lose the game. You must be a millennial. Is the game just like a millennial thing? If you spell ICUP, I will donate. I don't need your donation. Oh, well, I just spelled it. So, give me your donation. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do. I've been streaming a lot, so, yep, Rick Roll is in the game. Yep, very millennial. Harry Potter quizzes. Anxiety. Yeah. I just booped your nose, but yeah. Bro, my daughter is a ghost main beat. That would be fun. I haven't done anything like that in a while. Yeah, we could do like a ghost main beat with FL Studio stock plugins only. Thanks, man. Madlib type beat. I don't even know who Madlib is. I got two things for my balls of my word, and I don't break them for nobody. Yeah. Tony Montana. Oh, that's something Tony Montana said. Do you just show up in streams and say a quote from Tony Montana? That's crazy. So yeah, I'm probably gonna leave at 6:30 so I can start editing. I don't know. I kind of want to go ahead and start editing now, but also, I mean, just however long this stream has been, it feels too short. I don't know. I don't feel like I've been here long. Yeah, an hour. That doesn't feel like that's a lot of streaming. Love me some coffee early in the morning. Alright, it's been a minute since I've listened to Ghostman, so but yeah, my favorite ones are probably Venom and Mercury Retrograde, of course. I mean, alright, I'm gonna turn this down. Yeah. Damn, I haven't listened to Ghostman in a minute. All these punk motherfuckers don't know. They running their mouth like I won't kick in their door. All these punk motherfuckers sit on my phone. You think we boys? I never see you in one of my shows. See, I've been fucking up my life, no joke. Say my name, please. You're Heisenberg. You're goddamn right. Gamer 155. Yeah, I guess I have to watch The Sopranos. I just keep hearing shit about it. It must be a really good show. Well, I don't know if I'll watch it though, depending on what streaming service is on. I'm not about to get a new streaming service. Let me find out the BPM for some Ghostman songs. Mercury BPM 157. Alright. Ghostman Venom BPM 145. Okay, so yeah, basically around 150. Yeah, bruh. Hey, yeah, bruh. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get the project set up for the Ghostman tutorial. Definitely need to not that kick. No. I want a decap kick for Ghost Main. Yeah, like that. Yep, and I'll go ahead and get a little kick and snare buzz set up for me. Wait, do I have my FL on fire pack? Yeah, I do. Oh, I don't have a 808 snare? Oh well. Alright, let's get one up in here. I know we got one somewhere. Yeah, just a basic 808 snare. And get rid of that. And yeah, let's find a good snappy hi-hat. I dropped a song. Check it out if you want. Okay, thanks, man. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll just get a hi-hat from the Cymatics pack, I guess. Oh, wait, no, Murda Beats. He got some good hi-hats. Yeah. Alright, yeah. Open hi-hat. Alright, and then we need a cowbell for sure. And I think we need a clav. Okay, I attempted to make a Blink-182 song for the Riz battle. Check it out if you want. Clave. Oh, is it called a clave? Is that how you're supposed to say that? Wait, and Ghostman's just fucking horror sounds with loud 808s. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Clave sounds fun. Sounds more fun. What's good, Packus? My girlfriend says it sounds more like a Rise Against song. Well, I mean, Rise Against is fire, so. And I've definitely listened to way more Rise Against than I have Blink-182. Alright, so we got our clav and our cowbell. Open hi-hat, close hi-hat, 808 snare, and a thumping kick. Alright, so I gotta figure out how to do the horror effects in FL Studio though. But I feel like that shouldn't be too hard. I feel like you could just export pianos with a lot of reverb. Because I do want it to be FL stock. That's 80s horror right there. Maybe we could turn on arpeggio there. Oh, hell yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, so... yeah, I think if, soup. Damn, I might have just unlocked a new meta. Now export that to audio. We're sharing number 1. I'm old. Damn. David's number 1. You're not old, I don't think. I mean, no, we're around the same age, I believe. I think you're a little older than me, if I recall correctly. Alright, so then we could take that piano and just stretch it out. That sounds like horror effects to me. I mean, that would just be a ghost main beat, right? Oh, we need an 808. As long as it's long enough, that works. Yeah. Oh, and yeah. Camel Crusher on the master. Yeah, I promise I wasn't making a ghost main thing just to promote my patcher plugin, but if it works, it works. Right, why does it load like this? I had it like that when I saved it. And why does it have these all turned up? That is not how I saved it. And why is it in this mixer track now? That makes no fucking sense. What the fuck is going on here? That's weird. Ghosty funk. Yeah, trying to make a Ghostman type beat. Try resampling it with Granulizer and Serum with unison voices maxed out. See CPU die. Yeah, for sure. Beat sounds tough. This is a whack question, but is it possible to make anything good on GarageBand? Shout out from New Zealand. Hey, hell yeah, New Zealand. I don't know. I've never made anything good in GarageBand. Damn, you bought a horror theme VST and they had a jump scare in there? That's crazy. What's the name of it? I kind of want to check it out. Oh, you said you're 33. I'm 31. Gonna be 32 in a month. Oh, that 808 is short. Oh, feature 808. Okay, yeah, I could definitely use that in the tutorial for sure. But I need to take off the kilohertz limiter because this is supposed to be FL only. Use a fruity limiter. Oh yes, I should use a fruity limiter in this one too. Yeah, I think this is going to be the first tutorial I actually kind of have set up. Because Ghostman got them reverby hats. We're the same age? Damn. Jacko Player 2. Okay. Yeah, I might check that shit out. No. Okay, so to make this the easiest to follow. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get that sample back in there. We got to put that clav in there. That's very ghost mania. Damn, I killed that shit. Alright, did you know you could do Control Shift Delete to delete a pattern just like that? Whoa, what the fuck? Where am I at? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna purge unused audio clips. Alright, so if I'm doing a Ghost Main tutorial, I should talk about the tempo, then the drums, overall concept, and then do the thing, I guess. I remember when GarageBand was first released on OS X, it's like MS Paint versus Photoshop. Comparing it to any DAW is comical. What's your understanding of hierarchical structures and arboreal systems? I know chimpanzees be fucking sometimes. Oh yeah, gotta make sure that's all out and turn off that. Okay, so time knob around here at random. What is that on a clock? 12, around 9 o'clock, I guess. 8:30. It's 8:30 on a clock. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and start recording a tutorial for a Ghost Main type beat. Ghost Main told me that you wanted to make beats like this. Well, I'm going to show you how today using only FL stock plugins. And by the end of this video, you're going to be like, damn, I can make Ghost Main beats. What's good, Gangsta Kobe? Alright, so first let's talk about tempo. Ghost Main usually likes to stay around 145 to 155, so I'm just go at 150 because I like that tempo. And all you're gonna need for this beat is a piano. I'm gonna be using Flex. We need an 808. I'm gonna be using this Future 808 from Splice. We're gonna be using a decap snare because you want like, and then we're gonna be using a punchy kick For this one, I'm using decap. And you could pretty much use any trap snare you want. I'm just using like an OG 808 snare. Oh, what the fuck? Because I don't know, it just sounds kind of cool. Then we need a hi-hat with a small room reverb on it. So you can just copy these settings. We're gonna have an open hi-hat, a cowbell, because you gotta have a cowbell, and a clav. Yeah, that already sounds like Venom right there. Okay, so the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a horror effect using just this piano, which is crazy, I know, but check this shit out. I found a method. So what I'm gonna do is just pick 3 notes. Yeah. So the way we're gonna do this is just by picking 3 notes all beside each other, and then pitching it up high. So you get like a 80s horror type of sound. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it that high. Alright, then let's route that to a mixer track. I'm gonna put a limiter on it just so it doesn't go above 0. That's just something I always do. And let's get a filter and get rid of some of those lows from the attack of the piano. Then we're gonna put a Fruity Reverb 2 on there, just completely wet, no dry. I usually turn the stereo separation knob all the way to the left, and let's just give it a really long decay and turn up the size and turn up this high cut all the way. Okay, then we're gonna export this to audio, and we're gonna do some cool stuff to this audio file to make it sound like a horror effect. Where it at? Oh, I exported this sample. Oh no. No, I forgot a crucial step. Damn it. Okay. Future me, we're gonna start from here, I guess. So once you have the notes where you want them, we're gonna go into here and change this to arpeggio. We're gonna go to the question mark so that it's random, and you want the time knob to be around 9, but you can play around with it and see what works for you. I know that sounds stupid right now, but wait till we add the effects. Okay, then we're gonna go to the mixer track, and I'm gonna put a high pass filter just to get rid of some of the low end from the attack of the piano. Then we're gonna add a Fruity Reverb 2. I'm just gonna turn the wet up all the way, the dry down all the way. I'm gonna take the stereo separation knob and go all the way to the left. Then I'm gonna take the size up to 100% and the high cut up all the way as well, so that now we have this. Which still doesn't sound great yet, but wait till we start doing some effects. I'm actually gonna make this note longer, because why not? Okay, so now we're just gonna export that sound to audio. What's good, NF? I just scrolled here. Don't know what the hell I'm watching, but I love it. What's the program? I'm fried. I want to cook up some pizza. It's FL Studio. Alright, so now we've got this sample. And if you time stretch it with resample on, it's going to make it longer and lower in pitch. So I'm just going to play around with it, and you can just play around with that, do it as much as you want. And that gives you like a really cool horror sound. And I think I'm also just going to reverse it. And I'm going to choose somewhere in the middle so there's no like click. I'm also going to change this to generic bleeding. I might stretch it out a little bit more. And then I'm just going to copy and paste it so it sounds like a sampled horror effect. Then let's bring that into a mixer track, put a limiter over it so you know never goes above 0. And then I'm going to take out a little bit of this range, just wherever it's peaking at, just so it's not so intense. And if you want to, you can go even lower in pitch. But, you know, I think it was fine with the resample. That's just, you can get a bunch of different sounds. And then I'm going to put a reverb on it again, just to make it sound super atmospheric-y. And then let's get our drums. Alright, we're just going to do like a really simple drum beat. Let's get a kick here, snare here. Yeah, we'll just kind of repeat that. You know, you can do this however you want to, but and then let's get our hi-hats and let's do like a very trappy pattern. So I'm just gonna add a couple of little like rolled hats every now and then. So I'll just stretch one of these out and highlight it and click Alt U to chop it automatically. And I just like to add an extra hat every now and then. Yeah, sounds good to me. And then I'm gonna add an open hi-hat just at the beginning of it, just to give it some variation. And let's take this clav. And I like to just put that on the offbeat every now and then. So something like this. Or so, you know, nothing too crazy. And then same thing with the cowbell. I'll just throw it in every now and then on an offbeat. Alright, and the next thing we need, you know we need it, is them big old 808s. So I have this 808, which is a future 808 I got from Splice. That's what it sounds like. And I'm gonna just play around with the pitch until I find something I like. And his 808s, I'd like in the old Ghostman, you know, are pretty much just like sustained, nothing crazy going on. Alright, now we're going to distort this 808 and make it loud and then tame it a bit. I have a whole tutorial on how to make your 808s hit hard as fuck. It's here. Smoke the fuck out, hell yeah. Okay, Maddie. I'll see you later. So first thing, I'm gonna put a fruity limiter on the 808 so it just never goes above 0. And yeah, so if you want to get that distorted 808 sound, you route to this track, not route to this. Bleh. And I have an entire tutorial breaking down how to make your 808s hit hard as fuck over here. So if you want to see that, click that. But basically there's a easy way and a hard way to do it. The easy way would just to get the ChillPanic 808 Baker Patcher preset, which is only FL Studio stock plugins, which basically just turns any 808 into a boom boom. But yeah, this is for $8.08 on the YouTube shop. But if you don't want that, what you could do is just add some. Where's it at? Where's my distortion? You could add some fruity fast distortion. And, you know, just any type of distortion. But whenever you can add some distortion to it, and then you can add any distortion to it and then low pass it to get rid of the super highs. But the only problem with doing that is that's going to affect the sub of your 808. And so yeah, I have a whole parallel distortion tutorial like I mentioned before. So I'm gonna just put the Baker back on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to add more horror effects, you could make this unique a sample and just like stretch it even more. Yeah. But yeah, the Ghostman beats like that are pretty simple actually. So if you'd like to know anything else, hit me up in the comments, and I'll tell you about it. Fent 808. What does that mean? Yo, we're the chipmunks. I don't know what you mean. All right, y'all. Well, this was a shorter stream, but I'm gonna go because I got some videos to edit. So I'll see y'all in the future. Thanks for stopping by, and for the Discord members, I'll see y'all later today for the Riz battle. Your beard is gorgeous. Oh, thanks, man.